If you're a silver bull, like me, you gonna hate this video. But you have to see it because we need to face the reality and not the fantasy world that we want to see in the markets in order to make the right decisions. And the decision is we're gonna buy the dip when we get the sell-off in silver, and we have a new signal that shows us the bear market is not done yet. A sell-off in silver, it's coming. That's our buying opportunity, but we need to understand what's coming. This is why this video is really important. Let's get into it. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month. It is August 1st. Already unbelievable how fast time flies by. My name is Daniel Helmy. So we got a new weekly candle, but also a new monthly candle. And we're going to look at gold and silver to see if it gives us any important signals where we stand in the precious metals correction and what we can expect in the coming weeks. What are we seeing right here in silver on the weekly? Pretty much nothing, right? Okay, you know what? After the past month, I take nothing. So we are going sideways. We broke this downtrend channel. Okay, that is a nice signal. We like that. But we couldn't really make anything off it. You see here on the weekly, the long wick, right? We ran up all the way to close to 61.50 and then sold it all off. And this week that we just had, we started strong and couldn't hold the gains and sold them off. But on the weekly, we didn't make a new low. So that is okay for sure. However, if we look at the monthly chart, things turn out different. This is the monthly silver chart. As you can see, we had since May 2025, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green month in a row, including the crazy January. Now, it is absolutely normal to have a steep correction after such a run. And boy, a steep correction we have had, right? Silver is down from the tippy top. The low was around 54%, 53, 54%. Now, if you tell me that's a crash in silver, I'm not going to fight you. I say, yeah, you're right. Down 50% in 6 months, that qualifies as a crash. If we are just honest, if I would have told you, this is the Nvidia stock, this is South Korean hardware stock, this is an AI stock down 50% in 6 months. All the crazy silver bucks and gold bucks. So if you're like, ha ha, yes, that's a crash. AI is crashing. Well, we have the exact same thing in silver. So we are in a steep correction scenario for gold, which is not down 50%. We're going to get to that in a second. We are definitely in a silver crash, which means great opportunities for us to buy at the end of the crash. I'm not saying at the bottom because you almost never hit the bottom perfectly. If you want to hit the perfect bottom, what's going to happen is you're not going to buy. Because you're going to look at the chart and say, ooh, could go another 5% lower. I'm going to wait for the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. And then the market turns and you're not in it. We just want to be in it near the low. So we clearly have a bear market in silver. And on the monthly, in a bear market in silver, we just made a new close, monthly close, a new lower low. Again, I ask you, if you are objective, which I know, hard thing to ask from the silver bucks, 50% down, bear market, only 1 month, green month in the past 5 months. And that one got sold off hard. And in the most recent month, the month of July 2026, we made a new closing low on the month. Is this the end of the down move? You would say no, and rightfully so. We just got another sell signal on the monthly. Now, the monthly is the long-term time frame. That obviously always changes last. The reason, though, why we look at the monthly is we want to see what the overall trend is. At some point, the trend is going to change, right? But you get killed when you try to be smarter than the market. It pays to be the fast second and not to be the brilliant first. So we just got a big sell signal in silver on the monthly. Doesn't get more bearish and trend confirming than that. I hate to say it, I don't want to see this. You know I'm a silver bull, you know I'm a silver investor, but that's what the market gives us. That is the truth we have to face. And it signals to us, yes, the probability is high, and now we're on the weekly time frame, that we're gonna undercut 54, this resistance zone right here, 54, 53, and probably gonna get one more leg down. The only thing that would prevent this from happening, because if we look at this on the weekly, what do we see here? Well, that looks like a bear flag to me. Down move, sideways action, right? Or if you like an ABC correction, A, this is the B, where's the C? We had it here, right? A, B, C. And then A, B, C, A, B, and you get one more down move. The only thing that would prevent this is if gold would hold up. Now let's look at gold on the weekly and the monthly. It actually looks a lot better. Don't be irritated by the drunk double bottom. Here, the drunk green bottoms. You know they're from the daily. If I flip to the daily, there you have them. They're perfect. Interestingly enough, here we go. This could be, and I stress the word could, a triple bottom. And it's higher than the last one and higher than this one intraday. Interesting. We're going to keep this in mind. However, the overarching theme is we're going sideways. As you can see, 4,000 on the low end, on the daily, right? And then this zone right here, which is around 4,120-ish. I pointed this out before on the upper end. There's really nothing happening. If you want to talk about the bigger, which is 4,215 and then 4,000 channel also fine, but it doesn't change anything. We're going sideways. So on the weekly, as you can see here, indecision candle for gold. So we are kind of confirming the breakout, but there is no purchasing power, no buying power, which I had told you about. That was a big problem in gold and silver. We just don't have any buying power. Now, this is how every change of trend and turnaround starts, right? That is the great thing. If you're actively following the markets and you're in the markets and you say, I'm gonna buy, there's no buying power in the beginning. That's why we get good prices. But this could also mean at some point, I said this before, the bull's gonna throw in the towel, and then we're gonna get the final leg lower and the final sell-off. So, but gold looks better than silver. I gave you my percentages. What I see, which is 65, we're gonna go lower, 35, 4,000 is the bottom. I would say now, I don't know, maybe like 63, 37, so a slight then change towards 4,000 is it. Not enough to put a large chunk of money into the market. But 4,000 held again, triple bottom possibility that needs to be acknowledged. If gold would hold 4K and change, then we could see a change in silver. But silver itself, independently, will not hold up. That's what the monthly candle shows us. And that's okay, because that gives us a chance to buy the silver mining stocks early. Now let's finish up with this. What could help gold to turn around? Because that's where it all starts. And boy, do I have a chart for you. The dollar, weekly, Dixie, bloodbath. Look at this bull slaughter fest that we got last week in the dollar. Complete breakdown. I mean, this is about as terrible of a candle as you can get after a fake breakout. So this candle on the weekly would clearly suggest we are going lower in the dollar. We're going to at least test the 50 weekly. If we look at the monthly, doesn't look much better, because remember what I've told you all along, the dollar, this is here again since 1986, for the past 40 years. Downtrend in the dollar. This uptrend here, by the way, that is when all hell's gonna break loose for the dollar, when we break that. But we're not there yet. That's not important. But what is important is this bottoming phase, fake breakout now, and we broke down on the monthly. It's a little difficult to see, but see this? We closed on the monthly below the uptrend that has been in place since May and pushed up the dollar. So, boy oh boy, is this a terrible candle for the dollar. Dollar is going lower. Makes sense with the interest rate decision. If that happens, that could support gold. That is the big support factor for gold. Now we got the bond market. There's a real issue at the long end. We'll talk about that in next week. That is not great for gold at all. And it really, really will come down to What story does the market want to play? And I've said this before, and I say it again. One of the big things that I learned in I don't know, 28 years in the markets now or something. The facts are important, but what's really important is the narrative about the facts. The narrative make the prices. So what will the market pick out for the gold trade? Will it be the correlation gold, dollar? Then things look pretty good for gold. Will it be gold bond market? Ooh. And things could get dicey for gold. Will it be gold, oil, and then adjacent inflation? Okay, then things are interesting for gold. But we don't know yet what is going to happen. Look at the terrible weekly candle in the dollar, and gold did nothing. So it's probably not the dollar correlation that is in the focus of the narrative for the gold market that's playing out right now. It's probably the bond market and the yield curve. So we need to be patient. We need to face reality. And reality is that gold right now is dancing on the volcano after drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels. And silver in the monthly charts just made a new low, which is a bearish signal that we cannot ignore. Now, we here at Hot Trades of the Day, we will be ahead of it. Hit the subscribe button so you are ahead of the market as well. But we are facing reality. We don't live in fantasy island here. This is what the market wants to do right now, and we're going to adjust and act accordingly. And now, let's all adjust and act accordingly for it being the weekend and really enjoy our weekend. Have a great day. Bye-bye.